Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and today, the recording of this video, it is October 22nd, 2021. Um, I've been doing videos, hitting, every couple of weeks is about when I've been able to get to recording videos. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, even on BitChute, you're probably not going to see this until well into 2022. I think looking at YouTube, this will probably be July or August of 2022. So it's kind of nice that I'm able to keep videos going. I know long ago I said, hey, I'm not gonna purchase as much whiskey, blah 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 blah, and it turns out kind of lied, because now my wife is into this whole buying whiskey thing. So we're buying a fair bit, thankfully, which is kind of nice. This is the Compass Box. This is the last one of the whiskeys that my wife brought back from the Midwest, which, this is October. She bought those in July, I think. So things are kind of all off schedule. You can see over here we got Yellowstone, we got another Wyoming whiskey, we got Noah's Mill, we got this Bowmore Isla, which I have a story about. But then, golly, what was it? Like maybe a couple of weeks ago, we went through town, we bought a bunch of stuff, and then we went to Billings. We bought a bunch of stuff up in Billings. And then went to Casper, bought a bunch of stuff in Casper. I'll probably buy a couple more. Got some really good deals on some really cool things. So got a lot of stuff coming. In fact, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 plus 4 is 19. I was going to do this Compass Box individually. I'm not going to do that. I am going to do all three of these together as one review, instead of spacing those out, because I have enough whiskeys now, plus I'm going to get some more to carry me through, keep going on. So I'm not going to worry about it. But thank you to everybody who is subscribing, liking the videos. So if you haven't already, please smash that like button and subscribe if you stumbled onto this channel accidentally. Greatly appreciate it. Still not making any money or doing anything like that, just doing this out of sheer enjoyment and hopefully to give you people some heads up on to maybe where to spend your money or where not to. Hopefully you are appreciating my tasting notes that I'm giving and finding some value in that. So also, let's see, October, last weekend, just got back from an antelope hunt with my wife. She was the tag holder. Unfortunately, man, numbers were way down. We didn't really even see any opportunities on publicly accessible lands. So that was kind of a bust, but we took the little man with us out there. That was a lot of fun. Had him in the backpack, strolling across the prairie. Snow prevented us from being able to access some areas as well. Yeah, we got a snowstorm a couple days, probably 4 or 5 days before we went hunting. Blew maybe 8 inches across the prairie, which drifted in a bunch of roads and stuff, made them impassable. So that kind of sucked. But it was still nice to get out, have some fun, spend some time with the wife and the boy, and see where the world goes. So here we go. We're gonna get out a couple more glasses just because there are 3 in this Compass Box. So this is a Compass Box sampler pack. Like I said, my wife picked it up on her travels. This sample pack, which I highly recommend, is a great way to check out a bunch of different whiskeys. Was looking, where the heck is it? So this is the Malt Whiskey Collection 3-bottle sampler. It was $22.99. Not a bad deal considering what's in here. We have the PEAT Monster, which is one of our favorites. Spice Tree and the Spaniard. So these are, probably $50 some odd a bottle to buy them individually. So here's the PEAT Monster. We're gonna do him last because probably blow out your palate. We got the Spice Tree, and then we got the Spaniard. So according to them, let's see if I can find the tasting notes. I don't know if I can even read this. Peat Monster, a balancing act between the beautiful peaty, smoky aromas and flavors of classic Islay malts and subtly sweet fruit notes. That's 46% ABV. Spice Tree, this is a rich, intense malt whiskey with an underlying character of dried fruit, mate, notes of baking spices and accents of toasted oak aged in custom casks. And the Spaniard is full, soft, and sumptuous, owing to a base of malt whiskies aged in Spanish wine casks with flavors of citrus peel and ripe red fruits. Spice Tree was 46 also, and Spaniard is 43% ABV. So there you go. Hopefully some of that came out on the audio. $22.99. I'm going to take and pour these. We'll let them open up a little bit. My wife and I tapped into them a little already, just kind of tasting them. Because you know what? When your wife brings home a gift from traveling, you want to share that gift with her a little bit and let her try it as well. Because, you know, then she'd probably be a little more apt to do it again. So, there's a heads up on that. We're starting to plow through some of our whiskey, which is finally nice. Because I actually, you know, first world problems, I'm having some trouble finding space for everything. Down below here, I got this entire section, which you can't see the end of my bar, but that's all bourbon. This whole corner here is all Islay. I got rye underneath the bourbon, and then this section here is all just, you know, varieties of different scotches, whether they be Speysides or blends or whatever. So, okay, lots of talking. All right, let's start over here. What is this? The Spaniard. I said this was 43%. On the nose, it's very soft, very, very fruity. I get a ripe red apple and a pear, like very distinctly those two things. The proof is not coming out in the glass very much. It's mostly just sweet fruit notes. You get a hint of malt in there, especially out of this nostril. I get a lot of malt, that grainy, malty sweetness. But fruit is the name of the game for sure. Light fruit, not dark stuff at all. On the palate, I get a sweet butterscotch that goes into a ripe red apple. I get an ethanol ding on the end. On the finish, it's kind of a short palate. That ethanol ding brings forward a very, very, very crisp, sweet, ripe pear, green pear that like is still hard, but it's ripe, so it has that sweet sour mix. Kind of similar to like a Granny Smith apple. If you like fruit, the Spaniard's the way to go. Compass Box makes a lot of really interesting stuff. So there you go. Very fruity, just like the descriptor says. I get a butterscotch maltiness forward. I like that one. For a guy that doesn't really like the fruity scotches so much, I do enjoy that one. Okay, here we go. Spice Tree. On the nose, maybe just because I said it before, but I get pear. I get a little more ethanol out of the glass on this. Really subtle nose. It's really got to stick my nose down deep in there. I get a couple of floral characteristics out of it, but like bourbony floral notes. But it's really, really subdued. There's not a lot of heft in the nose. And then the ethanol is kind of covering up what little bit I can get. We're going to try something here. Let's see if we can get a little bit of stuff to come out. So what I did is put a little bit of whiskey on my hands. You dry it out so that it's completely dry. You evaporate all the ethanol. And then a lot of the notes that are in there, you'll get on your hands. Okay. That didn't work. So maybe the nose just isn't very conspicuous. Because I get a little bit of pear, but man, and a very light butterscotch. Going back to the glass, it's very heavy. Get a little bit of almost peat on the, not smoke, but peat bogginess, which is interesting. Definitely a butterscotch, a little bit of pear, but still pretty subdued, and finishes with a floral quality. On the palate, oak forward, moves into a baking spice. And then a sweeter fruitiness that dries out very quickly. So like a dry wine fruitiness. Like there's just a tinge of sugary sweetness, and then it quickly fades into a dryness. But sticking with a fruit, a light fruit of some sort. Going back to the glass, it's all butterscotch in the nose. Gotta go back to that. Yeah. Oak, little ding of sweet. I don't really know what to put that sweet note as. Maybe a butterscotch. It's very subdued, very short, but then it goes into a dry, light fruit. There's definitely a baking spice in there that's coming out of that barrel impact. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that one. It's not a bad whiskey. It's just not in my wheelhouse of what I personally prefer. I probably would not drop the money on that one. Okay, Peat Monster. This is my wheelhouse. Isle Scotch. Ooh, in the glass, all kinds of wood smoke, savory meatiness, smoked meat, just a touch of seaside brine, a little saltiness in there, and just a touch of boggy peat. And there's a sweet note back in there. I don't know what that is. It's a sugary sweet, a candy, a caramel maybe. But it's way behind the smoke. The smoke's coming forward quite a bit. Letting it aerate like that, air out, definitely help bring forward some of that. Okay, on the taste, smoke forward, a nice light wood campfire smoke, pushes into a peaty smoke. There was a touch of sweetness there for just a second. Pick up a little bit of oak astringency. There was a sweet note in there real quick, and it goes into a salt. Finish is kind of dry, smoky. I would say the smoke is kind of taking over. Now, keep in mind, I just did 3 different whiskeys back to back to back, so these 2 are impacting what I'm picking up out of the glass there. Because of the direction that these lean, I think it's intensifying the smoke. Because I remember when we drank this the very first time, to just sample it, the peat smoke was not as intense. But it is this time. It's in the glass, in the nose, it's also in the flavor. So let's go back for another taste. Campfire Smoke. Second sip, smooths out, sweetens up. Vanilla. Vanilla goes into a salty, smoky, savory note. The finish is campfire smoke, campfire wood smoke, a tinge of ashiness, so like after you put that fire out a little bit, and dry and short. So the palate on this is fairly short, start to finish as well. It doesn't draw out and just keep going and going and going. It's kind of there and gone for the beginning, the middle, and the end with that finish. And I would say that's true of all three of these. None of them really lingered. None of them really clinged. It's very nice. I don't know if this would be a go-to of mine. It doesn't have enough depth of character for what I prefer, especially in my Islas. But does it suck? Definitely not. Is it worth $50? Maybe. I think there's some better ones that you can get for way cheaper. But does it really show a bunch of different characteristics of Isla? Yes. But I'd say I'd probably be leaning more towards a Lafroig or an Ardbeg. And we'll get to this Balmore as well. That's actually pretty alright, but I got a story on that one. In fact, we'll do that next just because nothing changed on that. All the flavors were still there, bumped up on that sweetness a little bit. Okay, so there you have it. Compass Box, single malt, sampler pack, $22.99. Not a bad way to go. I highly suggest looking for these sampler packs, especially going into this holiday season. Great way to sample a bunch of whiskeys that are typically $50, $60 per bottle. For $23, yeah, you don't get a whole lot of quantity, but it's a great way to test and find out whether or not you're going to like it before you drop $50 on what you might find to be a dud. I also find these 50 ml bottles all the time. And buy those. If you watch through some of my reviews, you'll see I did 50 ml bottle reviews. Like Knob Creek was one for sure that I did. It's a great way not to be too invested to find out whether or not you like something. I got a hit list now that I've been going down trying to find very specific bottles, and they're not the specific bottles that most people are chasing, like the Buffalo Trace products, although I do have a Stag Junior on there. This year specifically, they're not really making their way into Wyoming or the surrounding states, so they're becoming pretty difficult to find in this region. We got the Blantons, but last year we had Weller Antique 107, we had Special Reserve, Eagle Rare. I was picking up for like $20, $22. I can still get Buffalo Trace, just regular Buffalo Trace, $20 all day. Including a couple store picks. But we're not getting too much of that. So I'm trying to get stuff off that hit list, but there's just so many things that I find interesting. So there's plenty of videos that come, so stay tuned. Let's say stay tuned to the channel for things to come. Like I said, got a boatload of whiskey to go through. These are going to be dropping in 2022. I got plenty of stuff coming up through, or you've already watched, hopefully through 2021 and into 2022. But yeah, I think next we're going to do this Balmore. Then we'll start hitting some bourbon. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already, please check this out. Check Life and Whiskey out on BitChute and Minds. Maybe gonna start another account somewhere. Just haven't had the time to do anything. Also gonna do some videos with like $30 whiskeys, $50 whiskeys, stuff like that. See if I can get you some good ideas in different price points. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a matter of getting content out. A little bit of a struggle these days with trying to balance life and the time to record and then edit, upload videos. But greatly appreciate it. As always, have yourselves a great day. We'll catch you in the next video. Thank you.